it reached very, very long all the way across the eastern half of the U.S. It's now moved out, but guess what? We
We
got
got
another one
part
coming.
2.
We got round 2 on Friday. Now, I don't know about Friday. Again, Friday looks a little bit more conditional, and I'll go ahead and go to the models here, and we'll show you all what I'm looking at. And I'm, well, hold on, there it goes. So let's take a look at Friday, shall we? And again, looking at this is the 18Z GFS, and one thing that we'll note is that this this actually tweaks some of the timing a little bit there. But let me let me just show you all kind of what we're looking at here. So we have yet another very strong low pressure system organizing in the mid-south. This is going to project up to the Great Lakes. Sound familiar? Drag a cold front with it. Sound familiar? Here is Friday morning, 7 a.m. Kind of advance this a little bit. We should start to see some showers begin to move into South Carolina, into the upstate, kind of running parallel to the CRA here by about 1 o'clock. Some of the early timing, some of the forecasts right now, the official forecasts right now are bringing that up a little bit sooner than that. This is kind of a recent thing in the model to actually set this time back a little bit. So we'll see. Again, exact timings are still kind of tough to know. So I don't want folks to necessarily bank on exactly what timings we've got here, but we'll have a warm front lifting north across the Carolinas, and that's going to bring some shower activity. And then the question becomes, is there enough instability? Can enough instability develop maybe some warm sector thunderstorms? Maybe some, the Storm Prediction Center has mentioned that there is the potential for maybe a couple supercell thunderstorms. Looking at the wind profiles, again, we have we'll look at the 850 millibar winds off the GFS, and that is legit. That's very, that's legit. We're talking 50, 60, you get into the whites here. That's, your 65 to 70 knot winds. And that's similar to what we dealt with on Tuesday. But the difference here is, I think there's going to be a little bit more rain ahead of this. I think it's going to tamp down on the instability a little bit more. So, and the other thing that's going to do is also going to stop those non-thunderstorm winds from getting too crazy. Now, we could still see gusts 30, 40 miles an hour very easily. That is certainly, and that can be hazardous when you're driving on bridges in particular. But we're not thinking 60. So, hey, I'm going to take everything I can get here from one of these. And so again, that low level jet is screaming. And when you look at the GFS and bring up the instability, here we do have some instability that's trying to nose into Charlotte. It was near Greensboro. This is at 7 o'clock, and so a little bit of instability trying to nose in here later a day in that warm sector. So we'll have to see. You'll notice the model really doesn't have too much of a squall. It doesn't have that defined squall line like we saw on Tuesday. So there's uncertainty here as far as like what the storm mode is going to be. Is it going to be linear? Is it going to be individual discrete cells that could produce tornadoes? That's how the two Carteret County ones came about. They were discrete, supercell thunderstorms came ashore. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what that ultimately turns out. And the Storm Prediction Center and their outlook, is a little iffy right now. They still are not quite sure about what the storm mode is ultimately going to be. So, we'll need to keep an eye on this. But the good news is, again, it's going to get out of here relatively quickly. And by Saturday morning, be clearing out, cooling off. It'll still be a little breezy behind the front as that cool advection kicks in. But overall, I think my call to action for folks on Friday is right now. Let's keep an eye on the forecast. Let's keep an eye on updates. We've got some fine tuning to do here. There's model discrepancies on timing. Very little, very small little things can make a big difference in these.
Exactly.
So we'll keep an eye on that for you. Just stay informed. You got trusted weather sources. We know you do. You're watching us. So you gotta know. You gotta know something. You